Hello everyone and welcome to a Brothers War traditional draft, and I think this might be an uncommon first pick here. The rare is of course not really even worth sideboarding in. I mean, even if the opponent has like a Titania's command in the deck, would you sideboard this in? Because they might not even draw the card. I don't think this is ever even a sideboard card. Maybe if you see two Titania's commands or two Wormgall engines from your opponent, then you might consider sideboarding this in. So it's not really, of course, and you don't first pick sideboard cards anyway, so that's totally out of question here. I of course like both of these uncommons. They are very good, but they have the problem of being two colors, and well, they are both kind of splashable. Yeah, they are splashable. The commons just are not good enough. Maybe you could take the Wellspring, which has multiple different synergies available. I do like the Vanguard a little bit more. It's cheaper and um, just works always. This does require you to have something to return, although it's usually not such a big deal. Ursus Silex. Okay, I have a playset of those, so I don't have to pick it just to complete my mythics. And actually, to be fair, I think I don't have to pick any mythics for set completion. I have enough packs. Comparing the amount of my packs to the missing mythics I have, I think I will be completing the set once I open all the packs, which I will be doing after my final Brothers War draft, but before the Phyrexia All Will Be One releases. Alright, so it's of course a mass removal effect, but it's too expensive. You won't have a Planeswalker in limited. You can't really count on it, at least, so it's not going to be the pick here. Oh, so there's nothing that is that great here. I think the emergency weld is pretty good, but since I took a white-red card, I should take a white or red card out of this pretty unexciting pack. Should it be the Power Stone Engineer? It's a cheap 2-drop. Whirling Strike is fine too, but I don't really want to take this kind of a combat trick pick too. Power Stone Engineer might not be at its best in white-red deck, but I might still have some activated abilities, the Flash 2-mana Flyer, for instance, that has the 5-mana activation, and of course I can still have, I hopefully have some good artifacts like the Scrapwork Cohort, Mats and stuff like that, so the Power Stone can be useful. Here the pick is rather easy. Recruitment Officer, of course, it is I'm not sure if it's the best card in the pack, but it's really good. And of course, because I am try to be white and red, it's easy pick here now. There's a Power Stone Fracture, there's a Argotian Sprite, which are fine options. Maybe Energy Refractor for some decks, but this is an easy pick for me. Let's try to at least stay white here and hopefully also red, so I don't have to even consider splashing this guy. I can just fit it to my deck. Now red is fairly open here. The question is, what is that pick? It's not gonna be like a disenchant, which I do consider more of a sideboard card. Strong Bull, Infantry, and this is of course a sideboard card as well. And Juggernaut. Medic is not a pick. Another Stone Brain. Right, so I do have a Power Stone Engineer, making the Juggernaut like a slightly better one. Strong Bull is not it's not really a white-red card always. You would have to have a lot of artifacts to make this even good. I think I actually like the Mithras Juggernaut the most. The infantry is good, but it's also like very replaceable. You shouldn't have too much trouble finding 3-drops, but the Juggernaut is the card I actively want to have in these decks. Because the Trample, 5 power Trample and then the Unearth is really nice to push some damage through. Alright, here a Power Stone Engineer is, especially now that I took the Juggernaut, I want to have another Engineer, and there's also nothing else for my colors. I'm that interested in having like a Battery Bearer. Could be interesting if I had a I use the word interesting a lot, I think, but anyway, I digress, or is it digress? Battery Bearer would be, not gonna say interesting, would be fine pickup if you are not sure about your colors yet. You could consider seeing if blue-green would be open, and I might take it here if the Power Stone Engineer wasn't here, but I'm actually quite deep into the white, at least, not necessarily red, of course, only one red card here, so I try to at least be white here, and Ambush Paratrooper is very easy, also getting some benefit from the Power Stone Engineers, because this is something that where you can sink the Power Stone mana. I wouldn't mind the Amulet either, but I guess I have the Juggernaut too. Now this is also a red card, by the way. I wouldn't play this without access to red. I said I have only one red card, but I actually have two. Regardless of that, I of course take the paratrooper here. It's the best pick for me. All right. So another Power Stone engineer. You could consider something like a power blade, but you usually get this quite late, and I'd rather have the wings, the equipment that gives also flying to your creature. Now this is good if you have things to return. I don't seem to have any things to return, so I'm gonna take the engineer. But it's not such a good card. It's a 2/1, and it's very easy to block 1 toughness creatures beneficially in this set. So this could backfire, but I'm still taking it. I don't think the Loran is that great, and now I have a little bit of a reason to, pick cards that care about having Power Stones here. Also, I should consider just not playing the red because I don't get past any. I'm gonna take the patrol here. Yeah, it's a pretty unexciting pack. I don't think the white decks want to often play the 1/4 lifelinker unless it's a white-blue flyers deck. Then the ground blocker is good. All right, so now I get some red here. Rock Hunter. I don't think I want to have yet another, 1 toughness 2-drop. So I'll take the Whirling Strike now. And if I can be white-red, I would be, happy enough for that. Medic versus Dig Site. I think I will need to really make sure I hit my colors here. Yeah, I think the Medic is better sideboard card. I'm not gonna main deck it, but I don't think I'm ever gonna run the Dig Site in this deck. So let's take one of these Medics. And now let's also consider I might have play something else than white red. So I'll take the Honor Guard. I put the green cards to the sideboard for now. Raise to the ground at 20 gems. This is a decent enough sideboard card, so I'm gonna take this. I don't need the 20 gems that badly. Okay, Rust Goliath. Sure. I mean, I could maybe be still green, and maybe I wanna play this as a sideboard card or something. I mean, these are only just uncommons for vault value. I don't really need to care about that either. I mean, with these wildcards, I don't have to maximize my vault increments. It's just a fun little min-max thing to do when there's literally no reason to take the common. Like, for example, I'm never going to take the Scatter Ray, so I'm going to take the uncommon for better vault progress. Even if I move to blue here in pack 2, let's say I open a crazy good blue, a mythic red or rare, I still don't like the Scatter Ray. I don't think it's a very good card in this format. Harvest. Okay, Visions of Phyrexia. I think that's kind of seals the deal. There's not even anything else that's interesting here, and I mean seals the deal for red. But this is a double red card. It can't be splashed, but it's kind of a bum quality. It's a little bit slow sometimes, but if there is unless the opponent is really just pressuring your life total heavily, this will take over the game. You tap out for this turn when you play this usually. You will get a Power Stone though right away, and then you just start getting 2 cards per turn, which is very nice, obviously. So let's take it here, and there's not really competition over it. It's an easy pick here. Take Flight though, that's a nice one, but now there's another Juggernaut, there's also the Avenger. I do like the Avenger more than when I have Power Stone production, so I can effectively consider this as a 5-drop in terms of how many lands do I need to have out. But I mean, the same applies for the Juggernaut. This is going to be land-wise cheaper, requires less than 5 lands if you have Power Stones. So I think I'm going to take the Juggernaut here still. This is sometimes a card you might even want to splash, but I don't think I need to go there. Let's take the Juggernaut here. Alright, so another possibility of picking a Loran here. Or another possibility of taking a 1 toughness creature. I mean, I definitely have them. 4 of them out of my... Okay, so half of my creatures are 1 toughness. If I take these, 5 out of 9 creatures would have 1 toughness. I mean, I have only 2 Juggernauts though, so the Loran just doesn't seem that good here. Yeah, I'll take the infantry here. At least if it trades with something, bad, I'm gonna get a 1/1 token out of it, regardless. Phalanx Vanguard, I think I'll just take that. I would play a supply drop in this deck, but I think I can get those later. This is a 2-drop that doesn't... I can actually block opposing 1/1 tokens with this. So let's take it. And okay, Warlord's Elite. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be a Blast Runner deck. Usually white-red isn't. It could be if you have a lot of red support for it, but of course this is at its best in a black-red deck. But here the elite is quite easy actually. It's nice pickup here for sure. I can take another elite. Okay, green seems to be open. Look at this. Well, first of all, there's the very nice blue-green card, but there's also Bushwhack, Stalwart, and Epic Confrontation from mono green options. So I guess if I didn't take the visions, yeah, there was a path in this draft involving me just moving to green-white here. But yep, let's take the elite. It's still a good card for me. Yep, more nice green stuff here. Okay, so am I gonna take an Unleash Shell or the Riposte? I don't know if you say that word as a Riposte, but I'm gonna say it like that. Alright, this is a sideboard card. This is a main deckable card, but I have a couple of 5-drops already. Maybe I'll take this because I'm actually lacking removal, so I'm gonna take the main deck 5-mana removal. I can play one of these. I don't have that much willingness to pick more like expensive creatures anymore necessarily. I would want to have, and these can be expensive too. They definitely aren't gonna be 4-drops always, because in order to play, 3-drops. 4-drops they can be if you have a 2-drop and 4 lands, but for this thing to cost only 3 lands on turn 3, you would have to have a 1-drop. In this deck at least you could have some 0-drops. Mishra's Bauble. Anyway, here I take the Frontliner over the Amulet. Yep, easy pick. Frontliner seems pretty okay in this deck. Not amazing, but okay. Here I won't be taking another Unleash Shell. I believe the supply drop is slightly more interesting. Also, triggers my one thing that cares about artifacts entering, but I have some Power Stone production now, so this can be a little bit cheaper to use and activate. To cast and activate. Okay, it's fine. And Lawrence Escape, totally a reasonable little bit of a defensive card. Also an easy card if I have too many playables, but I still am missing 5 cards from the deck, maybe even 6 if I play 16 lands as I usually have been doing in this set. Alright, Sprite. Well, I'm not gonna move to green-white, so I'm gonna take the uncommon here. Maybe I can even, push a person to my right to draft green, and then they will pass maybe white and red to me. Another supply drop here. Yeah, I'm gonna take this because it's a card I could play, so I'm not gonna take these uncommons over potential playables or potential sideboard cards. Okay, so it doesn't look too great here, to be completely honest. I mean, after the Visions of Phyrexia, the pack 2 wasn't so great. Okay, let's first see what this pack has for me, because there is a mythic rare I could pick and even play it, because it can. I don't get the cards from it, these cards or draws, but this can be a hasty trampler at 6 mana, and that I think is more worth it. So the other options are, well, not gonna be a Cliff Stomper. The star I would play it actually is quite nice. It would allow easier casting of this turn 3 elite, and then there's a. I don't think that Strongbull will be that great in this deck. There's a Refractor, there's another Elite. I think I'll take this as a 6-drop. Plus, you can use Power Stones for this. I only care about having 2 red mana to cast this, and then the rest can be whatever. Power Stone mana is totally fine there. Now, is this a Thran Spider deck? There's also got Soul Guide Lantern, which is just basically playable in any deck. And in this deck, it's slightly more, valuable because of these elites potentially coming down on turn 3 if I have a 1-drop and a 2-drop. But there's also an Airlift Chaplain, and there's like I said, the Thran Spider here. I don't actually think the Thran Spider is so great here. I mean, 3 mana 2/4 reach is nice, but I'm more interested in attacking than blocking, and I don't want to give the opponent a Power Stone, so I'm gonna just take the Chaplain here. I think it's the pick to make. Prison Sentence. I think it's gonna be the pick. I need some removal, and this is totally fine removal, so let's take it and move on. Feldon, Recruitment Officer. Scrapwork Mutt. Even a Bliss Automaton, which I wouldn't mind having. So this pack has actually 4 cards I'd like to have here. The most aggressive is the Feldon. The Officer has, it's kind of a late game This also allows me to use my Power Stone for some good use. And then, of course, it's a 1-drop that helps me get the turn 3 Warlord's Elite. And Mat is just always good. This is really tough. I'm leaning towards the Officer because of the double Warlord's Elite. But you could take, I mean, not the Automaton, but you could take any of these 3. I guess the Mat is the second option, but the Feldon is good in aggressive decks also. But I guess that was just anyway, nice pack for me because I still got I couldn't get all the cards I wanted from it, but I got one good card. So that's always better than not getting a good card at all. Alright, so here there's a Cavalry versus yet another Power Stone Engineer. With the amount of expensive cards I have, I don't know if I really want to have the Cavalry. I do have a lot of soldiers though. But I guess I can take still another 2-drop here. I actually have only... Well, I have a bunch of 1-drops, but let's take the Power Stone Engineer now with the double Juggernaut, double supply drop, Blade Coil Serpent, some activated abilities here. I have enough uses for the Power Stone, so maybe the weak body is acceptable in this case. I'm not splashing anything, so the Refractor isn't that great. Togasis Amulet I like in almost any white deck, but like I said, I have some number of these expensive cards. I'm basically at 16 lands now. So do I want to cut something? There's also the Riposte for sideboard. So maybe I'm going to take that rather than the Amulet. Good sideboard card. Yeah, let's do it here. And how about this pack? Well, this doesn't have really anything for me, does it? I have already one Medic as in my sideboard. I don't really think I'm going to side into two of those, so I can just take the Demolition Field. Maybe I will get to destroy a Mithras Foundry or whatever. Oh, look at this. The last pack in the entire draft that I haven't seen yet, and there's my first pick in here. Okay, so yeah, of course I take that. I'm very happy that I got something actually strong for this color combination. Alright, another Warlord's Elite. Well, the Stomper ain't gonna make it because I don't have enough mountains for it. Don't know about the cuts, but I got some decent options now. I think I might even play all the Elites. Nothing matters here. I even got this. Well, I'm not taking this rivalry. It's sometimes a sideboardable card, but even without jack outlets. But now the question is, am I gonna take the? I'll take the flyer. I could see I'm more interested in a flyer than another big ground guy. I have a 3/4 here anyway. This also is not really gonna matter. Okay, I'm gonna pass the wing commander because I would take the uncommon over a common, but that's a pretty late wing commander. I still got an amulet. I don't think I have room for all of those expensive cards, but let's see. Okay, so of course red really wasn't open. As you can see, I have only 6 red cards, plus of course the 2 unearthed red things and this thing which isn't red but basically is in the deck because of course you wouldn't play a 6 mana 5/4. That wouldn't make any sense, but this can be a hasty traveler. 6/4, maybe even a 7/4. But now what I'm thinking about here is maybe I should just focus on the white and use red as a... I mean, I don't have any red 2-drops, for instance, here. So I think if I cut the conscripted infantry, and maybe if I already also cut the unleashed shell from the main deck, I could play with a fairly few red sources now with the double caster on the Visions of Phyrexian, and this effectively being a double caster because it's kind of miserable if you don't get the red trigger out of these. I think I still could play like a 6 mountains and 10 plains. Yeah, 6 should be enough for the Visions. It's not gonna always be happening on turn 4 when I have it in my hand, but I really don't need more than 6. For the Whirling Strike, I don't need it early either. But I think with the 5-drops, I might just not play the Unleashed Shell. I might sideboard it in, of course. But this seems like the deck minus I need some cuts still, but this could be kind of like a mono-white splashing for this. Because you can sort of splash a double caster when you have when it's not your 3rd color but it's your 2nd color. So 10 plains and 6 mountains. I think that is enough for the Visions, as long as I understand that. That means it's not gonna always be... I won't always on turn 4 have 2 of my 6 mountains. But then I will have something else to do here. Now, something about the 3-drops, I should note that these elites are not still reliably 3-drops. I do have now 3 permanent 1-drops. And I want to, that's 6 2-drops. So yeah, it's not impossible to have a 1 and 2 into an elite on turn 3, but even that can backfire if opponent like disfigures like a recruitment officer, which they are very happy to do. So I can't really count these as 3-drops. So I can fairly surely count these as 4 mana plays. I think the Onulet has to go. I'd rather play the Juggernauts. And this is still our number of soldiers here is 11. So 10 targets for the cavalry, which means I'm gonna play the cavalry here. Well, I'm not playing 15 lands. This can pick up me a planes if I need to, get to 5 mana, for instance, for the cavalry or whatever there is. So another question is, am I going to cut one of my non-creatures? I kind of want to play all my creatures here. I could see the Lordran's Escape being a sideboard card, and this would be my main deck. And yeah, I could also cut a supply drop, but when you don't have removal, you want to have some ways to affect the board at the instant speed, and this is one of those ways. I can even use the supply drop to tap it for the elites before I crack them for the card. Also, you want to have some pump effects when you have a frontliner in the deck, because the 1/1 is so easy to block. You want to be able to, increase this guy's power so that the block, at least they're gonna lose the blocker even if the frontliner is still gonna die. Yeah, this seems like it. I could see actually cutting one of the elites and maybe playing the escape, but let's do that when I observe that after the first game that the opponent has now a lot of targeted effects, for instance, that target me, or my creatures rather. So I can then put this in the deck. But in the main deck, when I don't have knowledge about the opponent's deck, I think this, 19 creatures deck could be the best option still. This officer does actually find these elites, yep, because it cares about the mana value. Mana value of these is always going to be 3 no matter what. So I think the officers have a lot of things to find. 6 2-drops, 2 other 1-drops, that's 8, 9, that's 12 cards out of 40. And this looks top 4. This is actually quite high chance to hit when I get to use the ability. Okay, this is the main deck. I'm not convinced this is such a good one. I mean, definitely Excavation Explosion here. I could play a more even white red than 10/6 mana base, but and would do so if I had like an Excavation Explosion here. But let's just have this as the main deck. White was open for sure. Red wasn't, but after the Visions of Phyrexia, yeah, and of course green was open, but after the Visions of Phyrexia, it was so difficult to move drafting green. But I might have been a little bit blind to the option. I didn't really seriously consider picking any green cards after picking this, and that actually might have been a mistake. But I'm still, satisfied enough to this deck. I don't think the green cards I had, there was not that many like insanely good ones. So I could have had like a white-green, still maybe just a bit over average quality deck. At least I do have this Visions of Phyrexia, and the Fallaji Vanguards of course are very good as well. Alright, so 10/6, which would be, I would play playing 10/5 if it was only the Vanguards. But I have these two red pips here, and effectively 2 red pips to make the card worth playing. So I'm gonna play the 6 in that case. So yeah, that's the main deck. Okay, that is a 2, 3, 4 right here, regardless of what I'm gonna draw. 2, 3, 4, 5, even better. I'm gonna start with the 2 power creature. They might play a 3 toughness creature, but they might also play like an Arcodian Opportunist, which I can attack into, or maybe just leave this as a blocker. But no, they actually had that there. Oh well. Chaplain. No, there went the visions. This would have been really good on turn 4. But Vanguard is still good on turn 4, and this is gonna provide me some value later in the game once I play it. It will take some time until I play it though. Okay, well, the opponent certainly didn't have a 2-drop, but they have very good 4-drop there at least. So I'm gonna have to take the 4 damage from that guy. It's okay. Of course I could, you know, double block the Bailoff, unless they also attack with the frontliner, which they will do if they have a 3 like a giant growth. But I can play the Juggernaut on the next turn, and that thing can block the Bailoff. Okay, well that's not gonna draw any cards yet. Are they actually not going to attack at all? They are gonna attack. They're gonna make the frontliner die. I will take the 5 from the... Okay, no. If they wanted to attack, they shouldn't have played any spell pre-combat, because now they gave me information. For example, that they have no tricks, and also that I don't necessarily want their guys to die, but they're gonna unearth the frontliner at some point anyway, so it will leave the graveyard. Okay, that's not bad. I get a couple of triggers from the Vanguard. So if I play the officer and then the frontliner and then the elite, I can do all that. Attack for a bunch of damage in the air. I believe that is. I mean, I could also just play the Juggernaut actually. Maybe it's safer now, because it is forced to attack and they currently don't have a good block on it. They can only trade with it. So maybe it's better actually to also have... I can also block with it. I mean, they are gonna attack with a lot of guys. This is 8 power. They can attack with, maybe even if they unearth this guy, it's gonna be even more than that. But now I have a blocker for the cursor, of course. That's the more dangerous thing. This is no longer anything else than a 4/4. This is a 4/5 that can start drawing them cards at some point. Okay. That's a game changer. Titania's command. They are actually attacking with those guys rather than, you know, block the I mean, they had a free block on the Juggernaut. I guess it's not exactly true, because the Vanguard can also pump the Juggernaut, which I just realized. So I was a fool. But yeah, this is easy, you know. Of course I'm gonna lose this game, but I mean, this is the best block I can make. I mean, I can only win here if opponent makes some mistakes, and I don't know if they can even make that many mistakes. Because now I have to block the 6/6, and then I have to block 2 of these rest of the 3. Plus they can unearth the frontliner. Yeah, the Titania's command is not exactly a fair card. It's very unfair. Okay. Well, I guess I can still unearth the Juggernaut, and I can deal a lot now in the air, if I can afford to attack. And I have to afford to attack with this thing. It's the only way that I can push now for a lot of damage, because this is a bunch of triggers, in fact. Let's start with the frontliner. Let's play the recruitment officer. Oh, I have... Wow, look at this 10/6 mana base. And I'm actually limited by the amount of white mana sources I have. I didn't even realize until now. That's so miserable. So do I want to play the elite here? I would have to tap one of my guys. It's gonna be the Vanguard, because I'm not going to block with this thing. This is important to keep alive on the next turn. So if I play the Vanguard now, I can play it. Tap the Vanguard. Sorry, if I'm gonna play the elite, I can tap the Vanguard. And I have 3 blockers. Well, I think, yeah, well, that is enough. even if they have this, is it enough in that case? It's gonna give this guy +1/+1. I go to 5 when I don't block the 1/1. I can take the 1/4 power creature and then I have to block 3 of the rest. So I think it's gonna work. But I have to block with all my guys. Okay. But I think if they do an all-out attack with the Juggernaut and the Vanguard and the Triggers, if I draw a land I can unearth this and have the officer for another plus. So yeah, I think that is 7, 8, that's 2. I believe if they have like land in hand, they unearth their frontliner, attack with everything. In that case I will win. But that has to require that they have only a land in their hand, or just a card that doesn't do literally anything. But they have a Blanchwood armor there, which actually doesn't give trample, so I think they can't attack with everything now. I legit think that if they attack with everything, leaving no blockers, they will lose. So they can't do that. They didn't even unearth. Is this one of those games again where the opponent has a Titania's command where they, could just easily win by playing smarter? Because if I do it now such that, well, I mean, this is pretty, forced blocks here. None of these trample. I know they have nothing in their hand. I can even unearth this guy, by the way, if I need to land for that, because this takes all my mana currently. Anyway, let's not waste time. I'm just doing this, and I'm winning with a land drop, am I? That's what it takes, which I got here. Because this is a lot of damage. I mean, this is... Yeah, I needed the land drop. Oh boy. I actually needed the land drop. But the opponent still didn't have to do this risk here. Why would they? I mean... I take the win, but... they only actually needed to, leave a bunch of... They still had even the Blanchwood armor guy, so... I guess they didn't want to give me time, and I did have a flyer. Now the thing is, they had no blocker for a flyer. And I was able to trigger the Vanguard so many times here. And maybe I was actually still a favorite there. They attack with like 2 guys there. The 6/6 and the 8/10. I have to jump block both of them. They leave 2 4/4s to block. And then I can attack with a chaplain. I have more jump blockers. I don't know. It's actually quite interesting now. But I'm pretty sure the opponent was the favorite there if they didn't make such a reckless attack. Now, there's nothing I can do about the Titania's command. But at least I have 2 games to win. I mean, it's enough that I win one of the next 2 games. Maybe the opponent doesn't always draw it. But what is the game plan against such a deck? First of all, my 2/1s on turn 2 are quite bad. But I do have some pump effects for them. So maybe it's not the worst. I would really want to have Aeronaut's wings in this deck. It would be really important to be able to fly with my ground guys. I have only about 2, 3 flyers maybe. Chaplain, Paratrooper, and the cavalry. So Amulet. The 4/5 they have is actually a very good blocker on my guys. Yeah, my sideboard doesn't seem to have... I guess the Unleash Shell is still maybe something I should consider. It also kills the 4/5. So if I cut like... So if I play the Shell... I still like the Juggernauts though. I like the Sep. I like my Hasters and Tramplers. Can I play the 5 mana card? This cannot even be cast with the Power Stones. I think it's just too clumsy maybe. Maybe it's not though, but it's hard to say. Very hard to say. I try to aggress and use some of my tricks here and the Vanguards to push through. The Vanguards do, of course, enhance my creatures enough that I can, keep attacking even with my smaller guys. And I didn't see a removal from them, so the Loran's Cape doesn't seem that important now. And I get to at least... Well, this is a turn 3 elite. I have a fairly low curve in this deck, so this shouldn't be impossible to do. This would be amazing on the play though, but hey, I'm still happy to have this on the draw. Let's see how fast of a start they have. Again, my 10 plains, 6 mountains deck, so shows how the math actually works. And now they have a 2-drop. That's a shame. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna offer any kind of trades. Obviously, I lose my good 2-1 and they get to, you know, cash in the token. Plus, I need these guys to play the elite on the next turn. If they attack with the engineer, I will block with my engineer because I can also use the power stone to tap for the elite. They will get the power stone, but they're gonna get it at some point anyway. I don't think my own power stone can really push through, but maybe it can. Okay, well, they have now small creatures here. Okay. Let's see if they have like a pacifism effect. And I don't think I saw enough cards from them artifacts to play the race to the ground, the red sorcery that destroys an artifact. Okay, so we are 2 lands away from 6 mana Titania's command. Oh, they had the pacifism there. That's unfair. I take 6 damage now. And I can only attack back for... Oh, that's really a shame. That really made my curving out so bad. Especially because they have now their own aggressive start. And I go down to 14. Of course I can block these guys, but I also don't have a means to really attack into them. Recruitment officer isn't gonna block anything, so it's gonna attack. But yeah, I have the officer going on. Also, 10 plains, 6 mountains. My deck has 2 mountains left, 8 plains left. It might be relevant because this will find white cards, and this will take a white mana too. So I guess I can use these mountains to cast a supply drop here. Okay. Let's do this, and I guess this. Let's give them the power stone. I have now mana to use the recruitment officer if it survives. If I get to untap with it. There's the bailout. There's a Vanguard, which I can use. Do I need to use the supply drop? I mean, I guess I'll take the damage from the bailout here and activate the officer rather than use the supply drop, because I can do only one or the other. This does make this Vanguard into a 5/4 because it also triggers the +1/+0. They have wings there. Well, that's making things a lot more difficult. They are gonna wings the frontliner here. That means I need to kill the bailout. Because I cannot do that unless they have a Loran's Escape specifically here. The bailout becomes a 5/5, but this Vanguard becomes a 5/4 now. So, of course, I can't take 7 when they have wings here. Okay, so I could draw a card, or I can just, get something from... Oops, I don't need to. I can just do like this. This. Well, Paratrooper, thank you very much. I will attack. Do I want to play the Paratrooper or just activate this for another time, or just draw a card? Well, I don't have to do any decision right now, of course. I can do all these things on their turn. But yeah, they add 4 lands. But yeah, the 4 life from the bailout always makes it a little bit annoying to deal with, in the race situation. And I also need, I think I need more creatures here. I don't... Oh, they have... What's worse than 4 life? 8 life. Yeah, I don't think I can... I can, but the problem is, yeah, the vision isn't gonna be fast enough, because they can just make the bailout fly here. That is the actual factual problem. Oh man, the wings is gonna be... double payload, that is the problem with the wings. And that the fact they had the one prison sentence on my elite. So, don't have any mats or anything, so I have to play this thing. I can do this thing. Okay, why would I tap those? Just do it like this, shall you? Well, I can only play one of these. I won't have 4 mana left even if I... This will make a tapped power stone. Even if I play this, I will not have mana to use supply drop or anything. So let's do this then. I have my own prison sentence, but the problem is that... of course is that I cannot really stabilize here because they have the aeronaut wings, and I can also not raise them because they are 24. Well, this was just a harsh game. At least I won the game 1 here, so I have the opportunity to still try to outmaneuver them somehow in game 3. Oh, they actually have... I didn't see these in game 1. What the heck? Or did I? Well, of course, it's possible they don't draw 2 of their prison sentences, but this is just I mean... That's just insane. I'm just not gonna block you, I don't care. Let's see what I get here and then concede. Because, I mean, I played 2 of these elites. Neither of them was able to do anything because they had removal right away. No blocks, no attacks, no nothing. So now my only chance is to somehow try to... do what exactly? I have to tap. Well, I can tap these. Why didn't I tap on the previous turn the elite? I guess because it didn't matter what I tapped there. But yeah, let's do this, and now I can play this and still have 4 mana left over for drawing a card. I can't deactivate this ability though. So, I mean, that's what I have to do. One of their guys will fly and I will jump block that. I mean, I guess I can draw this already. That's another flyer then, but this time I don't think I can win here. But hey, let's I mean, I won the previous game too, which I really wasn't supposed to win. But now the other cavalry means I can still... And I still have one more flyer in the deck. I can dig into it with the officers here. Because of course I have to jump block their flyers now all the time. But I have one jump block left. The problem is that because they had all those prison sentences, I can't really... you know, deal much damage to them. That is so sad. Wow, so they actually had all the removal there for all my elites. I played 3 elites, and there's the one flyer, yeah, which is great, but it's not so great. I mean, because I can't... Why couldn't even one of these 4/4s be able to attack for some amount of damage? The opponent has gained 8 life in this game, so... I just... I don't know. Well, I'm gonna play this regardless, and I have to use that mana on it. So let's see what I pick from here. It doesn't matter if it's a 2/2 or 1/1, so I'm gonna take the frontliner here. And then I can't play the cavalry this turn. I can play it on the next turn because I will need to jump block with it anyway. I guess the cavalry with a supply drop. That would maybe even trade, but then they just have another flyer, and I'm at 2, so anything that flies there will... Yeah, trading is not good if this would survive, although this would survive if it has 6 toughness. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do on the next turn. Now... well, I'm gonna play this guy, I believe, and I also believe that I'm gonna let one of these officers go. Not much I can do about it, is there? Or they actually don't even wanna. So then I can... Do I need to leave mana up for the supply drop? Because if I activate these, I can actually still play a 2 mana card. So I think I should do that. Leave mountain and place. Yeah, I need to get lucky here, of course. And I got a 2 mana card, and now I just need to hope that whatever they have there isn't gonna win them the game immediately if they deal with the chapline. But man, they have actually suddenly 3 removal spells, which I didn't see in the game 1. So if they don't have Trample Trick, another Aeronaut's Wings, or a removal spell on my chapline, I will still survive this attack. But imagine if they were at 10, because they have played 2 Bailouts in here. So they would be at 10, and my attacks would at least, you know, threaten a little bit more in that case. They have full information. I'm completely tapped out, so if they have actually the removal on the chaplain, they have really wasted a lot of time to do that. Okay, the frontliner attacks for reasons I don't understand. Do I want to have a... Okay, they're having is... Well, no, they have the dig site activation up. The fact they have a priority doesn't mean that they have an instant speed. Because of course Gift of Gaia is currently the thing that I just lose to, but why is the opponent wasting so much time here? This is the blocker, but now do I want to have the Power Stone and have this still as an attacker, or do I just make this enable the 1 Unearth here? I think I prefer to have the 2 power creature here, so yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, no Gift of Gaia. Please no flyers either. Opportunist, I can live with. I get these 2 cards per turn, but I don't have that many great cards in my deck. Vanguard is good though. Well, I'm going to have to play the cavalry, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I should... No, I don't have mana, because I need the supply drop, because I can actually make these guys survive, these cavalry survive the attack from the payload, unless they unearth this thing. But regardless, I kind of want to leave mana up for the supply drop, but that means I can only have... Yeah, I can't play the Vanguard. Then again, they just block the guy that gets the pump here, so maybe it isn't such a big deal. I shouldn't even play this pre-combat, because they're just gonna block the bigger of these guys. So let's attack. I mean, if they are going to... The problem here is that they also can... I need to leave some blockers. That is an actual problem here. Yeah, because otherwise I'll just die. Fine, I'm gonna attack with 1 officer and 1 Power Stone Engineer. I need to deal some damage to even have some kind of chance here. Maybe I was supposed to now pump this guy with the counter to kind of... Because they can... The problem is what they can do here. They can still put the the frontliner and then put the wings on it. So that means they have 3 creatures that all have capability to deal lethal damage. Actually, I'm now gonna lose. Yeah, that's actually true. I have only 2 blockers now. Didn't realize that. Yeah. So now if they do exactly that... Okay, well, I guess I hope they don't do that. So they have to unearth the frontliner and also equip it with the wings. Those 2 things need to happen, because I can take the 1 damage from it. I can't take the 2 damage from it. I have only 2 blockers. Now I have mana up here, so maybe the opponent might not go for it, but... Yeah, I mean, these prison sentences and the epic confrontation. I have 3 Warlords Elites in my deck. They dealt with each of them. Okay, now the moment of truth is... Okay, they go straight to attacks. That is good news for me. That's not so much, because I actually have to jump now without trading here. Whatever. I mean, I'm just happy I don't die right now. I could have given the counter to this officer. But then again, they might have pumped the bailout. I don't know. What I'm doing here is this and this. And now at least I get to kill the bailout. And my Flyer of Wish will survive for another attack. Because it's not gonna die here now. Of course, they might be having a Titaness command, which will gain them a lot of life if they want to, you know, make sure they are not dying right away. Yeah, I should have given the counter. But then again, they might have targeted the different guy with it, so maybe it was better to do like that. Okay, what they have in here? They have that guy, alright. Okay, well, at least then I can attack with the officer here. Mine worker, of course, can enter here. Well, I get my 2 cards, and there is the Blade Coil Serpent, which I can make into a hasty attacker. And I can block now. Whichever they make to fly, I can block it. Man, if I actually can win this. Well, let's not go. Let's not go that far. I don't get double. I want to play the Vanguard so that I can start pushing more damage. So let's now. I need 3 blockers, that's for sure. So the cavalry has to block. The engineer has to block. The Vanguard can block one of these 2 tough. Whichever they're gonna make fly, they will still have a creature that will die to the first strike damage. So I'm gonna start with the Vanguard, right? And it's going to deal damage to the... Well, there's not much. Yeah, I need the blockers. I guess I'm going... Oh, they're gonna... that's annoying, actually. They're gonna just trade with the mine worker here, but I suppose it's fine. Maybe I will also... I'm actually losing my time outs now. So this thing can target this has trample, so let's do that here. Let's do this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do this thing as well. So now I can actually make the officer into a... So this is gonna target, I believe. Well, actually maybe... It's 10... Is this a lethal attack? Wait a minute. Did I make a horrible mistake? Not realizing this is lethal attack if I also attack with the cavalry. Okay, 8 trample. They have... Man, I could have targeted differently here. I could have targeted differently. Not giving the officer the pump here. That's... 8. I'm gonna target here anyway. So, because I need time here. That's 10 trample. They can double block. But they can't double block it, because then it's inefficient. If I attack with everything, 10 trample, 3 in the air, they're at 11. They take this, and then I can make 11 trample, so they have to block with at least that. This actually could be lethal, and I just freaking screwed it up by giving this the pump, which I didn't need to give. Mine worker goes to officer. They go to 11 from this guy. They have to block this. I think it's not... I'm gonna do this, but I think it's 1 damage short. It can be 1 damage short now. And the only reason is that I gave the officer the pump when I should not have. Let's see. I think it might be enough, but they're gonna block the mine worker goes to the officer, and then the flyer plus the trampler is lethal, so the disciple has to... No, this is exactly... the frontliner deals 1 damage. This is exactly... enough, isn't it? Because now they have to block the serpent that will trample for 8. That makes no sense, they are already dead here. But even if they absorb 3 of this trample, it would have been lethal, wouldn't it? Yes, because now they blocked 2 damage and went to -1. They could have blocked 3 damage and go to exactly 0, but I'm such a fool. Why didn't I realize how good this Fallaji Vanguard is with the amount, and because I also had the serpent here. I mean, because yes, it's great, I won this game, which was so tough, but it would have been so much cleaner if I just said at the start of my turn, after I exiled this thing with the Phyrexia, that now, before I decide if I want to play defensively or aggressively, I need to do the math and see if I attack with everything, because they had only 2 blockers, which I didn't respect. I just thought they were out of my reach this turn still, that I need to play more defensively. But if I didn't pump this damn recruitment officer, if I just straight up gave the first +2/+0 to the cavalry, this would have been an easy win in that case. I wasted 2 damage by making the 3-2 into a 5-2 without trample. Well, I mean, kind of an epic game, an epic match, but I'm not satisfied at my own lack of the lack of ability to see that I actually can go for lethal. That was so full that I only started thinking after I had already played so many things. That's a mistake that can really just lose you the match when you are totally able to win it as well. Okay, now let's keep this. I do need 1 land to be able to play the supply drop, and then I can play the elite by tapping the supply drop and the engineer. Or I can draw one of my 1 and 2 drops. I have plenty of those. I don't think they're gonna go for removal now that they don't know that the Power Stone actually doesn't help me too much here. They have a Paratrooper, which is fine, but of course, yeah, this could backfire now. I kind of lost my first player advantage once I missed my 3rd land drop, and they did not, so much of that. Foundry Inspector. Okay. I get punished now. But it was a risky keep. But if you, I mean, my deck has 14 lands and 5 2-drops and 3 1-drops. 5, 3, 8. So that's 20 cards out of, you know, I had of course 33 cards before I started drawing cards. So 20, that was like 66%. 66% of I wonder why they let this trade happen. 66% chance, and I had 3 draw step and I failed it on each. Okay, they have puppeteer, that's why. No, I mean, I would play this if I don't want to discard a card, so let's do that. If they play land, I still can't block here, because they have the threat of activation for the Paratrooper. Puppeteer trades with something and they get the Inspector back. Yeah, this is of course now harsh when I didn't draw the cheap draws or the lands. But sometimes that's what happens when you keep a 2-lander. Now what I can do is... The problem is they have the Paratrooper up. I don't even feel like showing them any cards, because I can play like an elite, and then, you know, they can just attack with everything, even with the 1-1, because let's say I block the 1-1, they will pump all these guys. I take 4, 5, that's 9 plus 2. I take 11 and they only lose the 1-1. So I basically have to block one of these ground guys, and it's gonna trade with my elite. And if I block this thing, they even get this thing back. So there's no way I can claw back to this game, and I don't want to show what my deck has. So the Deadly Riposte will be the card to play here. How about the Raise to the Ground? The Foundry Inspector is the only target I saw that I really am happy about using it on. Lora's Escape. I guess this was punishment for me not doing the proper calculations at the start of the final turn in the previous match, because I could have actually just not have like enough damage with the play I made, and then gotten punished for it. Okay, right, so what do I not need against such a deck? Well, I like all the cards. I don't think I want to sideboard anything else here against this stuff. So I just have to cut. Maybe the frontliner is, yeah, not so good here. I'm gonna cut it now. I wanna play the Deadly Riposte. It's gonna be able to kill so many of the guys. Okay, I will be on the play again. Let's see if it's a better starting hand or less risky one. That previous one would have been good if I drew the land. Okay, now this is a very nice hand here. I can, if I need, I can find a fourth land with this guy. Clay Revenant. Okay, well now I definitely want to have the fourth land on turn 4. My mountain draws have been plentiful here despite the, you know, the mixture of lands and spells. Oh, sorry, the mountains and plains, but with the visions it's actually quite good. I'm willing to trade with that guy because I don't need to value from this because I have the visions here. But that doesn't mean I should be blocking or attacking because, well, I guess I can take 3 here. This might deal more than that, but I also think they might just block. I want to keep the still the race up here. Okay, this is totally fine. And I'm gonna play this, and this will pick maybe some card. Actually, I don't care about the planes. I'm gonna decline that. And now I can at least have a creature that, you know, can participate in combat better than with just 1/1. Alright, that's a good card. So do I actually need to play the Vanguard first? I'm taking some number of damage here. If I do the visions now, I think I will play the Vanguard first, so that I can attack back. That also allows me to have this kind of a flash trick, suddenly +2/+0 on someone. A third color. I think I only saw plains and swamps in the first game. Static net, of course. And they're gonna get a power stone, they're gonna deal now 5 damage to me. Not happy. Yeah, the recommission is really good because all 2 drops that get a +1/+1 counter are definitely worth 2 mana, more than 2 mana. And if you get a 3 drop with a +1/+1 counter, it can be even worth 4 or sometimes even 5 mana. Alright, so I have these 2 here. As much as I like the visions, I don't think I'm gonna quite yet play it because I wanna play these guys. Let's see if they get the trigger out of the Vanguard, because I can of course double block it currently with my 1/2 and a 2/2 without losing more than one of those guys. And this at least, okay, well they get it. Yep, what the one counter does a lot of works wondrous there for them, because I can't trade with my own Vanguard now. I think I'm gonna be in a pretty bad shape now. Yeah, this is actually the one scenario when the opponent just presses you too much, you don't have the luxury to play this. Now, the riposte doesn't do anything against a vigilant creature. Sad. Well, I'm gonna have to stop attacking and just try to block somehow, so let's do this now. I get a power stone. At least they didn't have their own paratrooper, because if they had on this board the paratrooper, I would have no good blocks. So paratrooper blocks the cohort. Well, let's first see if this guy gets a pump effect. Of course they could have a combat trick, but I'm beyond being able to play around tricks. I just have to block assuming they don't have combat tricks, or instant speed removal or something, which would make my double block into a horrible thing. So I don't know what's the red for. Power Stone Fracture on that guy. I guess that's like the least. I mean, it's the smallest guy there. Well, they didn't have a pump on this guy. Okay, but they have. All right. So I mean, this is pretty easy just here. If they have a Whirling Strike or something, I die. But if they don't, well, this is a fine trade for me. I can try to claw back to the game with the visions here. Okay. This has vigilance too, so I can actually use the riposte, but Maybe that's worth it. If I block this guy... Yeah, problem is I'm 1 mana short of playing the Juggernaut and the Riposte. That would be great if I had both of them up. But I don't like the idea of taking another 3 points here, because that of course means that I'm gonna be so easy to dying to this unearth activation. So let's see. If I play this, I can attack for 3. Then I don't have mana for anything else. If I play this right now, I at least make them use the unearth now, if they want to do that. And then I still have the supply drop if it's somehow useful, but I don't actually... What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play this and just block the cohort with the Vanguard. I play this Juggernaut pre-combat, of course, to get the one additional point here. So I block the cohort with the Vanguard, and then, you know, I can block with the Juggernaut too. Hopefully they don't have any more vigilant creatures. This thing has to attack, of course, so that means it won't be blocking anymore, but then again, it's gonna deal hard. That is unfair. I don't sadly have a supply drop now, so they can bring pretty much anything back. But I can... This doesn't have vigilance, so what I can do, I can just... Well, I have to attack, so let's attack and see how they're gonna... I guess there's no reason for them to block, but the thing is, next turn it's gonna be a lethal attack. It's gonna represent 9 power of trample on the next turn. So, of course, they can block it, but... Well, let's see. Oh, Junkyard Genius. That's bad. Is it though? I mean, I guess they can't activate it. Yeah, that's the bread splash. So they can now... They can now do that. But I go to 7. I think I'm gonna have enough life to survive this attack, because I will be getting 2 life from there. By killing this guy. It will bring something back. Maybe that was a mistake. Ah, damn it. Why am I... Let's see, if I kill this one guy... No, I had to kill that. Oh, if I kill the cohort instead. Oh. Yeah, that was mistake. Again, me with the mistakes. So I guess now the only chance is that they don't block. But I mean, I could have killed the cohort and I would have stayed at 1 life in that case. And they don't get the phalanx back. Jeez. What is with me and my mistakes now? Okay, well now there's only... I mean, this is the only thing I can do and hope that they... Because if they block with both, I lose. I get punished for my mistakes now. Oh, that's not enough. I mean, I get to deal 9. This is exactly linear. This is exactly... If they don't... Oh man, the opponent could have played around double supply drop, and who does? But, I mean... This is exactly 6, but it... I mean, I wouldn't even had to give them the option to do that. If I killed the proper guy, they wouldn't have had the Vanguard, but now I did it... Again... I didn't even have timeout pressure there. All they had to do is also play it safe and attack a block with the Vanguard. It's so funny that I win these games, these clutch games. It's so amazing actually, but why can't I stop making mistakes? That was mistake number how many in this same event? Alright, well I still need to win 1 game against this opponent. It's now games are tied at 1-1. So yeah, they have the very good Genius splashed. It makes sense to splash it. It's such a good card. Assuming they have some way to fix it. I assume they don't have like a 7/7/3 mana base. They have an Evolving Wilds or something there. Alright, so did I learn anything? I don't still think that the Race of the Crown makes sense. If I had a disenchant, yeah, with the static net and some of the artifacts, it would make sense. But Lawrence's Cape might be a card I wanna play. There's the Powerstone Fracture and the static net. And it's also usable in combat. It seems like it can be useful, but I need to now make a cut. It was pretty difficult to make the cut in the previous game too. I mean, I just like all of these things. These are all good. I'm not willing to cut. Maybe it is one of the like Power Stone engineers. That's maybe the worst of this bunch. Maybe the Vanguard. One engineer. That's fine. I'd rather have access to the Lawrence escape. I think it's better than a 2-1 there. Okay, let's have a good starting hand. This is not good with those. I guess the engineer does help me cast the Juggernaut. I have the riposte here. So I guess I'm gonna keep this because I do have the 2-drop, which dies into a Power Stone. And if I now draw an actual land, I can scry into, you know, what I need. Come on, land. That's not a land. It's at least castable. But of course I would just prefer to have access to a 3rd land on the next turn. I don't want to lose 2 games so that I keep a 2-lander and never draw, or at least don't draw a 3rd quickly enough. Well, they missed their land drop too, so I guess I'll just kill this now before letting them untap. Okay, well if we both miss land drops, it's even. So please don't have one. No, that's unfair. Although I do have a prison sentence. Well, I'm gonna play my 2-drop instead of the 3. But yeah, I need to prison sentence this guy. I imagine if this was a land, it would have been so good. Well, I don't have good cards such a recommission in my deck. Let's see if they keep having plays. Okay, they don't have at least now. Come on, land. Thank you. So let's attack here. And I'm not going to suffer you anymore. Hopefully they don't have a disenchant. So lands or these things? I actually believe I can keep... I can't keep mana up for the Lawrence escape that easily. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna take that guy, which I can be playing. Okay, they are going to most likely block with that, so I'm just playing my 4-4 now. I also do want to hit my mountains at some point, ideally. Is it time for them to draw land? Yeah, it is. It's not fair that they finally drew one too. So it's a pretty even situation. Both are short on lands, both have a lot of cards in hand. I do have my visions, which would be great in this game, but it's not gonna be happening even after the next land. This could be the game where I don't draw the double mountain at all. Hey, my elites are getting so much so easily beaten here by all these prison sentences. I don't like it at all. So I suppose they wanna block now. And I get my own... Of course I could use supply drop there, but I don't think that makes any sense. Even though it's kind of mana efficient, but I want to have my own Power Stone token for the Juggernaut. It's much better to use the supply drop for the Juggernaut. So let them have their thing there. And yeah, again, a plains, not a mountain. So this is of course where the 6 mountain deck can hurt you with the Visions of Phyrexia. Okay, so they don't block either. That is fine for me, I believe. I mean, if I draw any land, I can play the Juggernaut regardless, so not the end of the world. I'm really disappointed about these elites getting so many prison sentences, but I suppose I had my prison sentence on their paratrooper. This figure. Well, let's try saving that guy now. It's good enough. If I don't draw land, I will try to activate it at least. Or maybe I can just draw a card to try to find the land. They are gonna pick a card or have a 2-2 flyer. Which is it gonna be? 2-2 flyer. So, do I draw land to... now? So, am I gonna draw any of my 6 mountains in the top half of my deck? Land would have been so good because that allows me to continue attacking here with the threat of activation. Now, well, I don't have much else here to do but attack for 2. Power Stone is welcome too, it helps with the paratrooper, and then I will probably just try to crack this for a land. Mountain ideally. Okay, now we are on a little bit of... I would have had such, so much better if I had the Vanguard earlier, but I can also use the cavalry here, but maybe I just want to... Well, let's see what they do. I mean, there's no... It's good to plan your plays, but it really depends on what they do. I could see, I mean, any of these plays being worthwhile on the next turn, and if I draw a second mountain, even these could be a worthwhile play, completely depending on what they're gonna do here now. They have a Ashnot's Harvester, but yeah, it's gonna be good against the Juggernaut when it's in the graveyard, so maybe I have to save it for a while. Okay, they don't like that, which is understandable. It's with 5 mana available, it's really nasty. Okay, that I don't wanna see, but I could kind of counter it with my Visions of Phyrexia, of course. So they are saying they have no interest in attacking and they wanna block my officer, which I think is okay. Yeah, I mean, sure, trade your thing. I have... Because the Vanguard is also a soldier, so I can give it a cavalry counter on the Vanguard. Hopefully they don't have removal on it. Now anything that's 3 or less mana value, a creature that is, they will draw cards. Maybe they will have the Ashnot's Harvester now. Okay, well that at least doesn't trigger that thing. And I got my... So this is gonna die and return something, but... I mean, I can play the Visions and the Power Stone Engineer. I think that is gonna be this turn. I wanna get the value out of this thing. Because this is gonna be a 4-power first striker. They don't have to know about the Visions. So they have to, jump and get a creature pack for free, or just take this damage, and this is gonna give me another Power Stone, making it even easier to cast it, Juggernaut, and then I'm at 19, I'm not dying here. Okay, now they go for that. That will give them a card from the Toka's welcome. This is at least once per turn, so if they now play more cheap creatures, they won't be getting them. Of course, they get also the trigger from this, the Drain 2 there. Yep, I can take the 3 here for sure. Because I can of course pump the Engineer 2 so that it's able to attack. Alright, land there. More lands, sure. I think I want to have my flyer up. The Trampler is very good too. I mean, it's very good as well. They have nothing too amazing to return actually. Both are 5 mana placed, although this uses the Power Stone, so it might be better to use the spell that requires all my lands. That makes sense, I think. So, as long as they... don't have an instant speed interaction, they can't kill the Vanguard now. They can't really take the damage either. They have to trade with the Engineer, which is really nasty for them. Oh man, I'm actually in a very good shape suddenly. I get even another Power Stone, so the Juggernaut effect. This needs only 2 lands to tap. They get the Chapline, which is, good one. More recommissions. Thopter, but they are in no position to... They are in no position to threaten my life total now. With the Vanguard here... Yeah, they of course get the welcome cards. They have now access to a lot of cards, but so do I because of the Visions. Okay, I'm gonna do that. More cards, of course. But now at least, I mean, they're gonna have some more creatures, aren't they? They won't be drawing cards from them. Okay, the token won't give them a card. And this Trampler will be very good. They are not... Okay, supply drop which they know about. Our recruitment officer... Well, they have jump blocks over the place, so I'm not even going to play the recruitment officer. I'm gonna play the Juggernaut though, because that's what I'm going to... Although... I mean, Do I want to draw a card from this thing? The thing is that... Well, this will find me more creatures though. Well, I want to have the Juggernaut for the next turn, so this is kind of easy. I'm going to do this. And give this guy some pumps, and then... yeah, so I can actually... Well, the supply drop also already means I have a lethal attack here. They can just jump block with the cohort, though it's not so great for me. But then again, they have to jump block with it. But no, I think I wanna save this for next turn. And do I even want them to have the cohort block here? I mean, they can have it always. They're gonna get more cards when they unearth it, but I'm assuming they're gonna still have a creature to play there. They have to jump block with the chaplain because they know about the supply drop. Okay, I guess I'm just not... Oh, I'm gonna keep these blockers here. Okay, I'm gonna keep the 3-4 as a blocker. Fine. They jump there. And I actually... If I don't play this, I get a Power Stone token. If I play it, I have a, card draw available. Okay, so let's see what... they of course are gonna... I don't know what... They have a disfigure or something. What? They knew about the supply drop. It's face... Is that face up? What the heck? Yeah, exile the card. That means it's face up. So they just chose to not jump with the thing and then lose to the cavalry. They totally missed the fact that there's an onboard trick allowing me to win if I go for it. And why wouldn't I go for it? I'd lose this at the end of turn anyway. I'm given like 3 wins here somehow. I don't know, but hey, I take them. And I think I was in a better shape in the game regardless. But I should have been... They should have blocked and then have at least another turn to do something. Okay, so some dramatic games in terms of, mana issues and all that, but opponent had mana issues there too, but can I have like a normal game? This is one of those things. If I draw a 3rd land, I can cast everything here. Even this because I have stuff to tap, so... I mean... How hard can it be? 2 draw steps. 14 out of 33. Wow. How lucky can I be? I actually drew it. That is insane. This has vigilance, so that's actually useful for the elite. Opponent isn't actually doing anything. Well, I mean, they don't have to do anything. I'm playing the elite this time. It will tap 3 of my lands always, so I can't like do multiple things, but it's fine. I was able to attack with both of my guys. That's actually nice. This attacked and I still get to play the elite. Usually you have to prevent some damage. Okay, so this is now a little bit easier than my previous games. First of all, my elite didn't get immediately, dealt with, so it can participate in combat here. And they have just an infiltrator here. So how close to a victory I am? Because I could sentence that guy. And then play post-combat paratrooper. I mean, not a post-combat, but end of their turn. Because now this will trade with one of my guys. And I don't want to waste my supply drop on that. So they will take 8, going down to 6. They can play 1 blocker. But I have these up. I mean, it's a lethal attack. But it's also a little bit safer to not do that. Maybe I should, in fact... Okay, let's not be fool. I mean, I was maybe a little bit of too greedy there. I can do this because this is still fine. Then I can prison sentence the next guy. Save this guy from dying. Sadly, I kind of missed the 3k there, but fine. Yeah. They're at 8, facing a lethal attack. I won't have mana up for this if I use the prison sentence, but yeah, this is now. I actually didn't even need to show the paratrooper, but oh well. Now they know about the paratrooper. Alright, so the opponent played like they kept a hand that didn't have any early plays, and I had early plays. I even drew my mana there, which was actually quite funny that I started with 2 and now I have 6 here. So I see 3 cards from their deck. Trench Stalker, is that reason enough to play the Unleash Shell? That might. I don't think I saw anything that makes me want to play the Riposte. I didn't see their removal, but black can have removal, green can have the fight spells or bite spells. Both. Is there a bite spell even? At least the epic confrontation, that's a fight spell. But yeah, this can be annoying, starting to gain life and stuff. If I take the Unleash Shell, am I gonna not play like the frontliner? These 1/1s aren't that good against you know, green decks in general. They have good blockers on the 1/1. So I'm gonna cut the 1/1. I think this is the least impactful card. I want to run these other ones for curve reasons and such. But I want to now have access to the Unleash Shell, and that's the sideboarding for now. If I lose this game, of course I will see more of their deck in that case, and maybe I have to sideboard something else too. Well, 1-2. If I draw a land, this would be a 1-2-3. That would be amazing. I am on the draw, 3 draw steps to find a land. I don't have a Bowling Wild, so all the lands in my deck are untapped, entering lands. Okay. Yes, that's it. So I don't really have attacks into the might, but I'm still happy about how this is going, and I'm definitely just doing this. And now I can attack into the might with the elite. If I draw another land, I can play the officer and the elite number 2. That would be nice. And of course I'm willing to attack into the might with the engineer. I just needed to tap it now on this turn. And if they have the Trench Stalker, I can at least make this into a 5/5. So sadly no land, which means I will only attack with the elite, because I want to play, of course, the other elite. But with the land I could have played also this. This also always requires 3 mana. It's not Convoke. Convoke is much better. Okay, they just take into... I don't know what that is. But I'm gonna try to take full advantage of this. Now, if they have a Trench Stalker on the next turn, and I don't draw my tricks... Oh, no, I see. Then of course I can't attack. But let's see if they have it. At 5 mana I can make this into a 5/5 that will be able to battle with the Trench Stalker. I also have the Juggernaut. This also is a 5/4. Okay, there it is. Land is decent. I'm going to just use the officer. There's no point playing the other officer now. But yeah, I mean they are at 22 now, thanks to... Well, I guess they did sunblock this for basically no reason. They could have taken the damage there. So I'm happy about that. And now if they attack, am I actually going to double block with the engineer and the elite? No, they're gonna have a... No, I'm gonna take the damage. Yeah, they're gonna have a trick of some kind for sure. Middle. Well, I have to do this right now. That is their splash. It's also a very good card. There was a lot of land there, including 2 mountains. And then, yeah, I put 2 mountains on the bottom of my deck, and then I get punished by drawing the Visions of Phyrexe. Okay, so still no attacks are possible. Let's do this. Get the planes if I find it. Well, I did find it. Yep. All right. I guess they don't have a good attack unless they have multiple good tricks going on. Okay, I still can double block it and I will. They have only one card in their hand. Okay, so I'm a little bit scared. But maybe this works. Okay, that worked. Wow. The final card is just a creature. Okay, so now I can play this as a 5/4 without any haste or anything. I believe I start with. I mean, it needs to. And once I have 2 red mana, I'm gonna play the Wizards. So let's actually do it. This is the mana efficient play, so let's do it. That's just a 6 mana 5/4. Sometimes that's how it goes with 6 planes in the deck. No reason to have the Chaplain to block. I'm not gonna block with the Chaplain. I have here blocks lined up. If they want to sack these to deal 3 in the air, be my guest. It's not like I was gonna block the Acrobat anyway. Oh, they are gonna. I don't know what is happening. That can't block anymore. Them sacking the 1/1 to just to deal 3 in the air. It's fine. Okay, supply drop. Well, this is a little bit annoying, I have to admit. But also, as long as they don't draw any tricks for their things, my blocks are fine. I'm not in a really good position to raise the opponent. Of course, this has to attack. Okay, that's not so bad right now. Okay, another Juggernaut. I mean, let's go. I can offer a trade with the statue, I wouldn't mind it. And I'm not gonna use the supply drop here. If they block with the Acrobat, if I use a supply drop, then I can play the Paratrooper, so that actually does make sense. Yep. That makes sense, yep. If I didn't have the play available, then I would have just, let it go and have another Juggernaut. Now they might even, if they don't have a non-creature, they might attack with the statue, but they choose not to. This has been a little bit weird game. I know, I actually revealed 2 mountains with this thing, and there were my mountains. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm still in a good shape. I don't need the visions here for anything. I would want to have some mountain at some point. But, I mean, the board state I have here, that's perfectly fine. I attack with both Flyers and the Juggernaut. I mean, I have the threat of activation here, and I wouldn't activate it. I'll just play the other Juggernaut. Then I have the Cavalry Steel. Yeah, this was the easiest match, and I didn't need the mountains for anything. All right, so that was one of the weirdest 3-0s because it was a combination of me having a bit bad draws. Then again, opponents had to. But what really is on top of my mind here is that I made some kind of a foolish mistakes, things that I usually don't do. I don't think. I just forgot to count the combat math, and I used my removal on the wrong guy. I didn't think through. But what also is pretty substantial in this event that the opponents also made some mistakes, especially the first round opponent. I think I got the free wins there when I shouldn't have gotten them. So that happens, of course. This is an unranked draft, so you can have all kinds of opponents. And now, because my own kind of a bit bad plays, I didn't really present as good as an opponent as I could have to my. I wasn't as good as I could have been, so the opponents got some easy points from me as well. It just wasn't quite enough for them to turn the matches into a victory. About this deck, Fallaji Vanguard, that's a really good card. As you can, of course, this deck has 19 creatures, so these triggers I have and cheap creatures as well, so I can have multiple triggers easily with this deck, and it can really make a big difference in your ability to push through. The Visions of Phyrexia, I got to do this multiple times in at least 2 games. Of course, that helped a lot in them. And Juggernaut as good as always, and the supply drop has actually been my compared to the first 10 or 20 drafts I did in this format. I'm counting all my drafts, not only the recorded ones. I don't think I gave much thought to this card. Of course, it seems very bad. 3 mana +2/+2. You usually want to have a 1 mana +2/+2 with additional pumps, but the thing that this can be cast with Power Stones, and this is useful as an artifact on the battlefield, not only with its own draw a card ability, but also for other synergies. This is actually quite decent. For example, in this deck, I could have tapped it for the elites, which is not much, but mostly this was here because I wanted to have tricks for my juggernauts and stuff like that. But it's a card I have played in a lot of my decks lately. If you have seen my drafts previous, how many drafts I've often seen this. I played this, maybe even multiples in some of my decks. But yeah, this deck maybe still seems lacking, like a removal could have been useful. But hey, it got the job done in a very weird set of matches, and that's all that matters now, isn't it? I'll claim the prize here, and I will see you in the next draft. I'm not sure how many I'm gonna have before the next one, because I'm really recording this ahead of time. I have like almost 2 weeks worth of releases lined up, because I'm gonna have a little bit of pause from drafting before the next set releases. But I will make enough drafts that there will be a draft every second day until the next set releases. So I will see you in 2 days. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.